Welcome to the Campfire. This week we're taking a deep dive into District 9 5A Division 1. The teams in this district: Baytown Sterling, Beaumont United, Westbrook, Galveston Ball, Barbers Hill, Lufkin, and Port Arthur Memorial. So let's analyze this district in our Randall's Film Session. In 9 5A Division 1, Galveston Ball feels like the big winner. Although the program might not think so at first glance. The Tours are in a top-heavy district, but it should get them more prepared for the postseason than their previous district did. When Ball was in with the Houston ISD schools, the Tours went 16-0 over 2 years and weren't tested at all. There were also early exits in the playoffs. This year, Galveston Ball will rely heavily on possibly the best athlete in the state, Jonah Williams, to lead them not only to the postseason, but a couple of rounds deep in the playoffs as well. Barbers Hill finished in a three-way tie for second last year and will be hurting with the graduation of two-year starter Cody Fuentes at quarterback. If Barbers Hill finds a capable replacement, the Eagles should be postseason bound. So should Port Arthur Memorial, which was also part of that three-way tie, and it brings back experience as well. Perennial power Lufkin is always a favorite and could wreak havoc in this district too. Baytown Sterling is coming off a 3-7 season, but with a couple of key plays here and there, it could find itself in the playoff race. A couple of Beaumont schools, United and Westbrook, dropped down from 6A and will look to find its footing in a lower classification.
The Film Session is brought to you by Randall's. Find these great items on the Chevrolet Inside High School Sports End Cap and take your shopping game to the next level. Chevrolet Inside High School Sports is brought to you by the Houston area Chevy dealers. Together, let's drive.
For an even deeper look now at 9 5A Division 1, here's producer Ward Fasold and the Houston Chronicle's John Poorman with the District Breakdown.
All right, District Breakdown time. We are talking 9 5A Division 1 with John Poorman from the Houston Chronicle. As we saw, they had realignment, but a couple teams petitioned, and then we ended up moving some teams around. So Lufkin's in, Angleton moved over some. But the main thing I want to talk about is Galveston Ball, because they have probably the most talented player in the Houston area, and they're not in a district where they can easily blow through like they did last year in Houston ISD. Is that going to help them when it comes playoff times?
Yeah, it's definitely going to help them when the playoffs roll around. They've had some earlier exits the past 2 years, despite some really dominant regular seasons. You look at the past 2 years, for these Houston ISD teams, the 2-year reign of terror from Galveston Ball is finally over. They went 16-0 in district play and outscored their district opponents 1,009-74. So that gives you, an idea of the quality of competition they were going up against each and every week in district play, and it really didn't prepare them, for the rigors of the postseason. Especially with the district they were matched up in the bi-district round, a really tough district over there. I think this is a positive for Galveston Ball. Obviously, now over the past 2 years, these guys are used to winning. They have a lot of great athletes there, led by Jonah Williams, the 5-star recruit. They have some really great players there. And I think that they can make this transition. I don't see this as being one of the toughest 5A D1 districts in the state or anything like that, but it'll definitely be a challenge. Port Arthur Memorial is always really good. They'll certainly be in the mix, and Barbers Hill is coming off a great season, although they lose a great quarterback in Cody Fuentes. And then, you throw Lufkin in there too, historically great program. So it's going to be really interesting to see, these programs kind of mix it up.
I'll talk to you next week, brother.
Sounds good.
We'll post the entire breakdown segment this Wednesday on our social media pages. And now let's take a look at some game changers in our Players on the Rise, presented by Parker University. You can list whatever position you want for Jonah Williams of Galveston Ball, but for the Tours, he simply does it all. In college, he'll be a safety or a linebacker, and last year Williams picked off 4 passes and made 54 tackles, while mostly playing only one half due to all the mismatches. Jonah also played offense when needed because it's hard to keep that type of athleticism off the field. Williams is pretty accustomed to the end zone as he returned a fumble, an INT, a punt, and a kickoff back for scores. He has offers from just about everyone, including Oklahoma, LSU, and Ohio State. Port Arthur Memorial defensive lineman Michael Riles will be a problem in this district for sure. As a junior, he had 45 tackles, with 24 of them being for losses. So yeah, the big man can get in that backfield in a hurry. Riles also tallied 3 sacks and forced 2 fumbles. He has offers from Nebraska, Texas A&M, and Florida, among others. Another talented defensive lineman in this district is Zion Williams out of Lufkin. He's a big dude, 6'4", 300 pounds, and Williams can bench 315 and squat 500. It's difficult for offensive linemen to combat his brute strength, and when he breaks through, that's all she wrote. Williams has offers from LSU, Texas, and TCU, among others. Once you get Cooper Lucas off the baseball diamond, he's a big play threat at wide receiver for Barbers Hill. Lucas, a star baseball player, caught 43 passes for 572 yards and 5 touchdowns a year ago, earning himself first-team All-District honors. Expect another big year for this senior wideout, as he will be the Eagles' #1 target for 2025.
Players on the Rise is brought to you by Parker University. Do you or your student want a career training the world's best athletes? Check out our bachelor's degree in strength and human performance today.
Our Ward Fasold catching up with Galveston Ball head coach Sheldon Benight to talk about his tours in our Media Day segment.
All right, it's Media Day. We are talking 9-5A Division I. We've moved up to Division I now, and we're talking with Galveston Ball head coach Sheldon Benight. Coach, let's first just talk about the district. Let's just get right into the district, because you spent 2 years where, man, you can't say this, but I'll say it. You didn't have as much comp as you would like. You probably weren't feeling you were overly prepared for the playoffs because maybe your starters were playing 2 quarters and then sitting for the rest of the time. A lot different now. Now you got a Barbers Hill in there. You got some Baytown teams. You got Lufkin coming in, Port Arthur Memorial. Talk about the district, and is there a sense of excitement that now that you can really polish up your squad and get ready for that postseason?
There is, and I think there's some excitement for the kids too. There are a couple of, the last alignment when I first got here was we had Port Arthur and Baytown and Beaumont. There wasn't Barbers Hill, but and we played Angleton that year, which is now out. That was the original team, but so it's our seniors are going to be familiar with some of these teams, so that part is not an issue. And I think the excitement of having some competition throughout the year is going to push these kids. So but just we got some work cut out for us, so don't get me wrong, but the idea of going to the playoffs prepared, feeling like you're battle tested, and we fought through some situations, that excites me.
I'm looking forward to seeing how your team does in this new district. Coach, thank you very much for joining me.
Well, I am too. I appreciate it, Ward.
And you can catch the entire interview Friday on our social media channels. That's going to do it for this week's Campfire. Next week, we head to District 10, 5A Division I. Until then, have a great week, everybody.